So I've got a cold, but I thought what I would try and do is put a bit of a positive spin on it and explain some of the differences between Chinese and Western kind of ideas behind colds and what it's all about. So when I've got a patient that comes into me and I say, "So how's your immune system? What do you think it's like?" And they say, "Oh, yeah, no, I'm really good. I never get sick." And I kind of raise an eyebrow and think, "Yeah, your immune system's probably not great." Because for the people that seemingly never get sick, it means that your immune system is kind of working on overdrive. So it's jumping on things too quickly. So for those people that always get sort of sore throats, never really comes to anything, like those are the people with compromised immune systems. You kind of need 2 colds a year. If you're getting more than that, then yeah, your immune system's probably compromised the other way. But if you're not getting any, then that's not really so great. So there was this brilliant acupuncturist that taught me this nice analogy. He specialised in sort of skin conditions, and kind of autoimmune problems are kind of key in skin conditions. So this is what he said. So if you've got an army and they are back at the barracks and they're having a nice bit of food and they're having a sleep, and then they need to be mobilised, they get sent out to go and attack the enemy. But if you've got an army that's been sat in the field, hanging around, just waiting for ages, ready to just pounce on anything that comes out, what will happen is that, yeah, all right, it'll get to it quicker, but it won't be so effective at getting rid of it. So this is how you can imagine your immune system. So what we want is a nice rested immune system, so that, yeah, it will take a little bit longer to get to the cold. So it will mean that you will obviously have a few more symptoms, but you'll work your way through the cold more effectively. So, I think in the West we're so quick to jump on colds and medicate them. And we really shouldn't be doing that. A cold is a really good thing. We need to teach our bodies how to deal with viruses. So this is kind of Western medicine now, but when a virus happens, it's like a particular shape. So then your body will send a cell over to that virus and it will sort of try and latch onto it. And if it's the right shape, it will latch onto it and kill it. But if it's not, then another cell will go, have another try, another one will have another try, and so on. So that's how your body deals with viruses. It's quite there's a lot going on there. Your body needs to be able to deal with that and do it effectively, because that's how it deals with bigger viruses than colds. So we need the practice. So 2 colds a year is really good practice. What bothers me a lot is mums that keep giving their kids Calpol when they get a little slight bit of any kind of inflammation or virus or infection, straight on the Calpol. But, it's not good. We need to teach our children how to deal with inflammation, how to deal with viruses, because if they don't learn from a young age, then they will get very sick later. So, allow kids to deal with inflammation. Obviously, you don't want them getting so hot, but even, kind of big temperatures are useful for them. So let them get to that stage. Very good tip, actually. If you've got a child who is having severe inflammation, sort of getting to the febrile convulsion stage, is you just prick the top of their ear and just squeeze a little drop of blood out, which brings the heat down really quickly. So it's a good little tip. I know mums don't really want to do that, but I would far rather do that than give them Calpol. So do that next time if your child is unwell. So when we think about colds from a Chinese medical perspective, we're looking at sort of pathogens, and they come in different forms. So you can have a hot cold or a cold cold. So hot colds are, the ones where you've got temperature, you're really, really thirsty. They tend to be like the big old colds, like the flus and that kind of thing. Cold colds, you can still get flus that are cold colds, but, you'll feel cold, you won't really want to drink much, you just want to wrap up warm, all of that stuff. So I often say to people, that you just need to think about the type of cold that you're experiencing. It's easy to figure out whether it's a hot cold or a cold cold. Then you need to medicate appropriately. I never ever think that taking paracetamol, anti-inflammatories when you're having a cold is ever a good idea, because as I've just said, it's a natural response. You need to learn how to do this stuff, because if there's a bigger virus that comes along, you need to know how to deal with it. So I would stick with the classics, honey and lemon. If it's a cold, add some ginger in. Ginger is very heating. So all foods from a Chinese medical perspective have energetic properties too. Lemon is fairly neutral. Ginger is heating. So I've got a cold, so I've been having lemon and honey with some ginger in it. Hot colds, you can add some garlic in there. Garlic can be quite useful for driving that out. So, just go back to all the old-fashioned things, chicken soup, the stuff that your granny used to make you. Eat those, because it's a way that your body can get those nutrients really easily. If you think there's a massive process that's happening whilst you're trying to deal with this cold. So, don't give it loads of biscuits and watch Netflix, as much as that's really exciting. It's really inflammatory. So, don't be eating loads of chocolate and sugar and, alcohol and all those things. Just be really good to your body. But this has really come out because this is a massive plea to people to just look after yourselves when you're ill, Yeah, watch some Netflix for 2 days. Take a couple of days off work, When do you ever get a chance to just sit and rest? This is what having colds is all about. I'm not so fussed about getting out there and passing it on to people because, as I've just said, colds are a very important part and it's good to catch them. But, you just need to look after your body when you're having a cold. Stay in, keep warm, and don't try and work through it. Medicate yourself through it and carry on. That's not what it's all about. So, yes, this has just been a little plea from me to you to say, look after yourselves when you're sick, please, guys. It will help your immune system in the long run.